Alright viewers, we've taken a look at the headlines and our top focus continues to be the return of Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore. Yes, they safely touched down on Earth after spending over 9 months in space due to unexpected delays after glitches in their Boeing Starliner. Their spacecraft, the SpaceX Dragon, has successfully splashed down off the Florida coast at 3:27 a.m. IST. This marks the end of a mission that lasted 286 days. In a very sweet moment, a pod of dolphins were seen swimming around the spacecraft as recovery teams worked to retrieve the crew. Meanwhile, Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore both beamed with joy as they stepped out of the SpaceX's Dragon capsule. They were seen waving and smiling. Meanwhile, joining us on the broadcast is Dr. W. Selvamurthy. He is the former Chief Controller Research and Development at DRDO, and we also have with us Narendra Bhandari, who is the former Chairman of Planetary Sciences and Exploration Division of ISRO. I'd like to go across to Dr. Selvamurthy first. Thank you so much, sir, for taking our time speaking to NewsX this afternoon. We continue to track, of course, the return of Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore. The entire world is elated at this point of time. Several big leaders in and across India from across party lines have hailed Sunita Williams as a daughter of India and of course celebrated her return. But it's been quite a challenging 9 months for both astronauts. Of course, astronauts are trained specifically. They undergo grueling physical training, also mental training to tune themselves psychologically. But faced with the prospect of suddenly being stranded in space despite being seasoned astronauts, what do you think could have been the psychological challenges that they've faced?
First of all, let me congratulate both the astronauts, the Sunita Williams, our own daughter of India, and also Butch Wilmore, who has safely returned, exhibiting tremendous resilience, which they have displayed. A 9 days mission getting transformed into 9 months mission. So to face those challenges in terms of physical, physiological, psychological challenges has been a display of a phenomenal resilience which they have. And also I must compliment the NASA and the SpaceX for this wonderful management of the whole mission, which they have done it meticulously and working into exigencies and then rising to the occasion and then rescheduling the recovery. So all these have been planned very, very meticulously. So I should compliment both NASA as well as SpaceX, and also the congratulations to Trump and also Elon Musk for this priority given for both the astronauts to return back to the Earth. And it was in fact a scientific feat to see the textbook type of landing and then recovery, and now the astronauts back with their families. So congratulations to their families as well. So the psychological stress, as you rightly mentioned, the challenges would be the isolation, monotony, separation from family, fear of the unknown, and also the claustrophobic environment in which they have to live for 9 months. So these are all both physiological, psychological challenges. Then there are physiological challenges due to the hypogravity or the low gravity environment and in space and in the International Space Station. And they are exposed to also the radiation coming from cosmic radiation and also the solar radiation to which they are exposed. Then the other challenge would be the adjustment to circadian rhythm, their sleep, biorhythms, which they have to adjust because you don't have the solar periodicity which you will have it in Earth. So you need to entrain the whole biorhythms, including sleep, to the social cues by switching off the lights at a particular time and switching it on. Then also the food is yet another challenge because the food which you have to eat, normally we are used to a fresh food. And then you need to be on 9 months, mostly on the processed foods with a little bit supplementation of stored vegetables and fruits. So these are all the challenges which the extension of 9 days to 9 months faces on the cruise. And also they have displayed the resilience. When they came back, I could see the reflections of no stress in those faces and the behavior, body language. So this again displays the resilience. So compliments to them, and I'm sure now they will be undergoing the recovery, because there are 3 phases of recovery. The first 15 days, then 15 days to almost 45 days, then above 45 days. So you have these 3 phases, and they may take almost more than a year and a half to completely recover every function. Because what all happens in space is first is the hemodynamic deconditioning. Because normally the heart is at a lower level, your brain is at higher level. So the heart pumps the blood against the gravitational pull. So you maintain the pressure, the pulse pressure. There's the systolic, diastolic, and the pulse pressure. So that is one. And once there is no the gravitational force, and then the whole blood rushes, and then there is a redistribution of the blood as well as the body fluids. So this is one challenge. And when they come down, the deconditioning which has occurred, the cardiovascular deconditioning, has to be restored back to normal. So that takes some time. So that is why they are brought in a stretcher, in a supine position, so that they don't have to work against the gravitational force at the earth environment. The other challenge will be the muscular dystrophy happens, the disuse atrophy. Any organ which is not used undergoes a disuse atrophy. So here again, since there are no muscle tension, the weight-bearing muscles, which keeps your weight and then keep you in an erect position with the balance. So that also is affected. There's a muscular deconditioning which happens there. So that is why there will be loss of the bone mineral density goes down. Almost 1% loss every month happens. So almost about 10% loss would be there in the bone mineral density. So they have to compensate by supplementing calcium as well as vitamin D. Then the other change would be the psychological component, which will cognitive functions, which get disturbed, which also takes some time to recover back. Concentration, memory, learning efficiency, psychomotor performance, which is eye-hand coordination. So all this get affected when they return back. It takes some time to recover. So that is why I said 15 days, 45 days, and then beyond 45 days. And it takes that long. But then they have the complete space medicine schedules are available, how to deal with the astronauts when they come back. So this is a big lesson for India as well. Because when we are planning Gaganyaan mission, that this is time for us to look at how do we bring, the cater for such contingencies, exigencies, crisis management, which we need to plan. So these are all lessons which we learned from these type of big missions, where the challenges would be many, particularly with regard to the safety of the human, whom you are going to put in flight. So that's why the ISRO has in the Gaganyaan mission, even though it's taking time, but they are planning meticulously. I'm very confident that India, our Indian Space Research Organization, we will be successful in putting our man in space. But we have also done those experiments. The ISRO has carried out experiments earlier for like emergency crew escape re-entry. So this has been tested. Then a robo would be there without human. And so all this would happen subsequently before you put the human. And also, you'll be happy to know that the first biological payload to space went from Amity University. We had put a callus of the spinach, which is a plant which has been put there, and in the poem 3 and in C60, the PSLV, this is one of the payloads, and this is the first biological payload which has gone to space, and that's from Amity University, Maharashtra, in Mumbai. And so this is now growing well. Similarly, ISRO demonstrated the germination of the seeds there. So we need to give fresh food there. And even Sunita Williams did an experiment on aeroponics. How do you grow vegetables there without any soil or water, using just the humidity in the air? So the aeroponics, she did experiments on that. Because you need to provide fresh food. In the long missions, you cannot just sustain on the processed food. Even if you give the stored vegetables and fruits, they won't be fresh. So you need to give, like for a soldier in high altitude, in Sayachal, if we give one chili and a 1,000 rupee note, the soldier will take chili rather than a 1,000 rupee note. So that is what is the human craving for a fresh food. So this is also an experiment which Sunita Williams carried out over there. And they were also adjusting the lighting periodicity to adjust to train the biorhythm. So this was another experiment they have carried out. And they have also collected the microbes around the spacecraft. So they have brought, I think they have collected those extremophiles, which survives in those extreme conditions. And they will be doing what is that which gives protection against these, the extreme space environment situations, including radiation. So all this huge voluminous data have been collected in this mission. And I'm sure this learning, both from physiological and psychological challenges, which almost 260 days, these astronauts have been there. A lot of the data will be there for us to learn. And I'm sure the ISRO will be eagerly looking forward to, with the NASA will hope that they will share all this wealth of knowledge,
Indeed.
information you
Indeed,
get
sir,
from
there's
these.
a lot to learn from this mission. Thank you so much for taking our time speaking to us. We also have with us Dr. Narendra Bhandari, who's the former chairman of Planetary Sciences and